Councilwoman Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, everything that she just said, and also we did have some conversation about these micro small businesses and how does this affect them with this 3%. So we did have a lot of back and forth discussion on it. However, it did advance and do pass up to the council.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hall. Councilman Ellington.
Just to briefly caution us from actually passing this 3% increase, when we talk about the marijuana tax, illegal drug business, and legalizing drugs, everybody looks at the money that's associated with it. When we look at Kansas City, yes, it's a possibility that we have an increase of 3%, but what we don't take into account is 1,000 cities. What is it? 1,066 cities that we actually have in the state of Missouri. The top 5 states, five cities that we have is Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, Columbia, Independence, St. Joe. The reason I mentioned this is if we have a 6% state tax and then the other surrounding cities are not impose an additional 3% tax, then we're not doing anything but creating a black market. So when you have a legal state that has legal drugs, that you can legally grow it, and you have a city that has a higher imposed sales tax, then that helps stabilize a black market. So if we don't want to increase illegal drug activity, I think we should be cautious about this because, again, there's over 1,000 cities in the state of Missouri. Columbia is talking about doing a 3%. We're talking about doing a 3%. The rest of them are not. If you look at traffic data, you'll see that most of our transportation currently goes from Colorado through Missouri through Chicago and also Ohio, because these are trafficking highways, and it also has everything to do with accessibility and the amount of the product. So again, we have a very realistic possibility of having more legal marijuana on the streets at a higher price, which would make it extremely easy to have a black market because it's also legal. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Ellington. Councilman Bunch.
Just some clarifying questions on this. Well, first, is this a sales tax above will our typical sales tax still apply to sales? I think I know the answer to that, but that's
yes.
Yes. And then, have we identified where this revenue would be? Will this just end up in the general fund?
The ballot language directs it to go to neighborhood quality of life. 3 particular areas are spelled out within that. That would be in trash pickup, refuse collection, violence prevention, and homelessness prevention.
Great, thank you.
And may I add,
yes, ma'am.
Amended at committee to specify that it goes to the Department of Health.
Right, yeah, that's correct.
The Health Department.
The Department of Health, through the blueprint for violence, is the theory, is the one that then would direct from there.
I would like to be added as a sponsor if the lead sponsor will have me.
Oh, always.
Thank you.
Let me just make, and then I'll get to O'Neill. Never trying to debate necessarily. I think a number of other Jackson County jurisdictions are planning to introduce a tax of the same amount. They would include Raytown, Independence, Lee's Summit, and I believe Jackson County, which would apply to the unincorporated portions of the county, will also be assessing the same tax. There's a general effort, at least of Jackson County jurisdictions, to have a same consistent type of scheme. However, your point's still taken because there are 1,050 other cities in Missouri. Councilman O'Neill.
I didn't really see much on this. Does this have an estimation of what we're expected to raise on a yearly basis?
The estimate that came, I believe, from the Finance Department in the early years would be roughly $3 million per year in revenues, assuming that it would come up over time to about $10 million per year in year 5 and beyond. We're going to get you some water. Any further discussion on the ordinance? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Booth.
Aye.
McManus. O'Neill.
Aye.
Hall.
Nay.
Floor. Fowler.
Aye.
Ellington.
Vote for freedom, no.
Robinson.
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Bunch.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
Parkshaw.
Aye.
Lucas.
Aye.
9 ayes, 2 nays.
The ordinance passes. I'll also note that in our area, North Kansas City is also considering presentment on the April ballot. Next item.
23001.